Involve me and I learn. This is the mantra on which we would delve into today's episode of Matters, your weekday radio program that constantly seeks to address all forms of social issues that, of course, we encounter in our daily lives. I'm talking from the world of politics down to the delicate and exciting world of entertainment. And in between, we do not forget or ignore the importance of our general health and wellness. We always engage you on the journey to clarity. We begin today on World Rounds with the issue of the fuel price increase. How much more hardships should Nigerians expect? Is there a light at the end of this long and bumpy tunnel? We ask, we probe, we seek clarity. Stay with us as we will be right back after this break to have more conversations.
My name is Jesse. My name is Adam.
In reality, this is how the market works. There's no supply issue completely. It is not a supply. When you go to the market, you buy the product, you come to the market and sell it at its ongoing, its prevailing market price. Nothing to do with supply. We don't have supply issues. There are a robust supply. We have over 32 days of supply in the country. That's not a problem. What I know is that the market forces will regulate the market. Prices will go down sometimes. Sometimes it will go up, but there will be stability of supply. And I'm also assuring Nigerians that this is the best way to go forward so that we can adjust prices when market goes. I don't have the details this moment, but I know that our marketing wing acts just like every other company in this business. I know that a number of companies have imported petroleum products today, PMS. So many of them are online. I'm sure my colleague will confirm this. So market forces have started to play. People have started having confidence in the market, and the private sector people are now importing products. But there's no way they can recover their costs if they cannot take market reflective costs.
That was, of course, the chairman of the NNPCL. Now, as expected, this has sparked up several reactions from different individuals and organizations. The NLC has rejected the increment, accusing the government of impoverishing the poor masses while the rich get richer. It has also rejected the now suspended 8,000 naira palliative for 12 million households in the country. Joe Ajero, the president of the NLC, in a statement described this proposal as robbing the poor to stay rich. Ajero added that it is no longer interested in the federal government's committee to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal's impact on Nigerians because it failed to set up a national steering committee, adding that while they applaud the decision to remove the costly subsidy on fuel, they, however, caution against a hasty implementation of the policy without necessarily putting mitigating measures in place to cushion the excruciating effect. More reactions, and of course, after we go on this quick break to pay some bills, we would return, take the reactions of the Labour Party, take your reactions as Nigerians, and have an in-depth analysis with a business financial consultant and public affairs analyst that we have as a guest on the show today. Please do stay with us.
Are you traveling to Lagos and desire a perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42 Murtala Mohammed International Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in our beautiful appointed rooms, featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Now, whether you are traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your every need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop from the Lagos airport.
Why not take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant?
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So why wait? Book your stay today and experience the ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Believe me, believe me, believe me.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions. And Oldberry Ice Cream
At number 4, Obomosho Street,
Area 8, Geriki, Abuja, or 3rd Avenue, Gwaripa, Abuja, or Federal Housing Estate, Phase 2, Lugbe, Abuja. Call 0908-831-5906 or 0908-831-5908 or 0909-238-9861. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Romeo'sPizza.ng.
website
www.romeo'spizza.ng. Romeo, the pizza champions. Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BOP TV, show up, speak up.
Others may drop the mic. I talk into it. If you're in need of a voice, well, I've got one.
Voice of the People, 96.1 FM.
Thank you for staying with us. And now let's head back into the reactions that we're receiving as pertaining to the fuel price hike. Now, the Labour Party on Tuesday has said that the latest adjustment in the petroleum pump price is just the beginning of hard times Nigerians will be facing under the administration of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, reacting in its statement, the party said Nigerians do not deserve what they are getting from the present government. The statement was signed by the Labour Party National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo, where he stated, and I dare quote, "Recall that we had earlier warned that the bourgeoisie government in place can only enrich the upper class and inflict penury on the preliterate. You offer a paltry 8,000 naira to a family of 5 and extract all they have labored for through obnoxious policies. We at Voice of the People have asked you what you think, what your experience is, and these are your reactions. Take a listen."
My name is Prince Nalibu Robert. I'm a real estate consultant, and I've been finding it very, very difficult with the first increment to 540 naira per litre. You can see, look at this is the car key of mine. I left my car and be trekking far away now. It's not easy. If the federal government have removed the subsidy and they have not shared the palliatives to Nigerians for us to enjoy the dividend of the democracy we so much emanated from, and they are pushing us. We just wake up, they just say that they have increased the price of fuel. It's not fine. They are not being fair to we the citizens, honestly speaking. Like me as a person, I'm not happy about it. I stay far away. My office is around this side. To drive from my place here and go back every day, spend about 8,000 naira. So I will want the Nigerian, if they can't revise this thing, all of us will come to the street and say no to such impunity because they are not being fair to us, we the citizens. And also, where are the Consumer Protection Council Board? They should act. The labor should act. The civil society should act. It is not time for us to take this thing. They are taking us for granted.
I'm actually in support of the fuel subsidy removal because I believe it's going to benefit we, the poor masses, let me use that word. But about the fuel increment, it's not funny at all. The issue now is whenever fuel price has been increased, the transport definitely increased like ×3, which is not funny. So my opinion, I don't know how they are going to, I don't know if there should be a check on these transport workers. Then the people selling fuel again, if they can, they should look into it again about the fuel price.
The increment of the fuel price have bring everything down. We are just hoping that the government will have mercy on us and see and fix a fixed price. Yesterday we bought fuel 540, today 617. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. How much do you want to charge a passenger to make up that money for a litre? So we pray that the government will help us.
The increase in fuel is very wrong at this point in time. Even if it should be done, it shouldn't be done at this point in time. They should work on other things. If they want to do other things, they should be able to work on other things in Nigeria first before they should take this step. Even if they would say it's for a better Nigeria or something else, but then they should be able to work on other things first before.
And those are your thoughts, and because we are the voice of the people, we have taken it upon us to hear your views, air your views, and of course give you a voice, because that is exactly what we are here for. Now, joining us for an in-depth analysis on the issue is Agba Wilson Agba. He's the MD CEO, Dream Height Global Consult. And he is a business and financial consultant and public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for taking out the time to join us, sir.
Thank you, Chingwe. The name is actually Agaba Wilson.
Okay, Agaba Wilson. Yes. Agaba. I am sincerely sorry for doing that. Agaba Wilson Agaba.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking out your time to be with us. Let's get into the issues. First, I would like to know what your thoughts are regarding this very recent increment in fuel prices that happened just yesterday. As a financial consultant and public affairs analyst, what are your thoughts?
Well, and not surprisingly, the increase in fuel price. It's just that a lot of Nigerians didn't quite understand the deregulation of the downstream sector, aka subsidy remover. When you remove subsidy, the government loses the right to regulate the price. Okay, it means that the sellers will now decide what price at which they can sell, and the buyers can decide whether to buy or not buy. It means that the price at which we buy PMS will now be determined by the cost component of the business participant. Take for instance, if the the price of crude goes up in the international market, we should expect that the price of PMS will go up here. Now, another huge factor that contributes to the price of PMS would be the exchange rate. So if the naira dips in value, it will automatically have an increase in the price of petroleum because they import it, and to import they need the USD. So you will not expect to buy petrol at the same price as at when naira was doing maybe 700 naira to a dollar, and you will expect to buy it at the same price when the naira is doing 800 something naira to a dollar, because it means that the importers have to raise more naira to buy the same quantity of product they used to buy. So all of this put together will make the prices go up. And I've said it on other platforms recently that although we started at 540, unless something is done quick to mitigate the falling the value of the naira, this price will continue to go up. The other aspect would be if we are able to refine it at home, and if the government has an arrangement where the company which drills the oil will sell the crude oil to our local refinery in naira, that will remove the component of exchange rate, and the that means the price at which we buy PMS here now will now depend on other components that have nothing to do with exchange rate. So at that point, irrespective of the value of the naira, we can expect some kind of stable price. But until that is done, this is just the beginning.
In your expert opinion, what steps can be taken to address the root cause of this frequent fuel price increments and work towards a more sustainable and equitable energy sector in Nigeria?
I think within my little knowledge that the steps taken by this current administration were a bit hasty, and that the policy properly scrutinized and maybe even simulated before they were put into motion. For instance, you can't remove fuel subsidy and then float the naira and think that Nigeria will not have the impact, especially given that the country is not a producing country. We are heavy on imports. It means, therefore, that the naira is a lot of naira is chasing the dollar, which is the international unit of trade. So, if you float the naira, two things will happen. Our external debt will immediately go up. Take, for instance, you have an external debt that was based in dollar and was, say, maybe let's say a $1 billion debt before. When the official rate of naira to dollar is 461, you will be needing 461 billion naira to pay up that $1 billion loan. But now that we are doing 800 naira to a dollar, you need 800 billion naira. to pay off that loan, which means you need more naira to be able to pay your loan. That is going to increase that loan burden on us. Number two, we are not an industrialized country. In order for us to produce at home, we need to industrialize. Industrialization requires heavy equipment, which we don't produce here. And businesses that would want to produce here will need to import this heavy equipment, which comes in dollars. So they will need to raise more naira in order to procure this equipment. But if they procure this equipment, the next problem is appreciate the equipment over its lifetime, and you add it back to your cost of production. By the time you do that, you will either not be able to sell because your price is too high, or you will sell at a bearable price, but you will not make profit. It means people will not be encouraged to produce here. They would rather use that money product, the finished product, which means therefore that we have more naira chasing the dollar, which will lead to a continual free fall of the naira. So you see where there are issues. This is where the policy should have been thought through. Look for some windows, create something to encourage productivity in the economy before we talk of total floating. Then the other aspect, if I were the new president, I would have gone along with the plan of the old administration, where they have a lay-down plan for subsidy removal by the end of the month of June. But I would have asked for additional 2 months. Within these 90 days, I will call people like Dangote, who is building a refinery, people like Abdul Samad, who is doing a 200,000 barrel per day refinery somewhere in Akwa Ibom, and then other people who are doing modular refinery, and sit on a table with them and ask them, where is your refinery now? When can you comfortably tell me you will be in the market? What can I do with my position to help you get quickly to the market? Because their coming into the market is something that is going to help you cushion the impact of removal of subsidy within the energy sector. Then if you have that discussion with them, the next thing will be for you to look for your expert. Sit down. How can we provide public transport system for people so that they can use shared infrastructure? Take, for instance, we live in Abuja here. If you can get a decent public transport where you sit down, probably even watch the news on your way to work, and you can even bring your laptop out and do your work, and you know it's dependable, it's orderly. You get to a hub, they drop you there, you come down and take a taxi from that hub to wherever you can just trek to your office. Would you be driving your car? You wouldn't. So if we have done such things, and these things are not things that government needs to bring out their money. Government needs to set it up and assure private sector that they can back it up so that their money will not be lost. Private sector will bring their money, and they will buy these buses. They will manage it. The technology have gone so much advanced that we don't need to collect cash, because when you collect cash, that's where money starts missing. You can use the card system, and these things will run. So once price of fuel goes up, people will decide whether you want to keep spending so much on fuel or you want to use the public transport. The more people that are using the public transport system, the more profitable it becomes for the owners of the business. And then another thing would be to roll out the CNG alternative, the compressed natural gas alternative, which the Buhari administration mounted so much but did nothing about. You can call all the retailers, people who have this filling station, and discuss with them. What will it take for you to install CNG facilities in your filling station? What will it take for us to, process more of the gas and distribute it accordingly? What would it take for us to convert vehicles for people who want to convert? These are other alternatives that you could have created. So it will be up to the citizen. Do I want to use public transport system? Do I want to use CNG? Or do I want to keep buying petrol? And then the other part is power. because these are the two things that we use PMS for. Then you want to look at, okay, the other the PMB administration has successfully removed power generation, transmission and distribution from the exclusive list, making it possible for the Electricity Act to be passed, which have now made it possible for people to generate even up to 1 megawatt without license.
So
if you do
okay,
that,
go ahead. Go ahead.
so if you do that and you bring the private sector into it, private investor into that area, it will improve power supply. So if you fix the issue of transportation and power supply, the problem would drastically reduce. And then we can talk of the other add-ons on these issues.
Okay, now you've said a whole lot. Very great. We're going to try to open them up a little bit so that we have clear understanding about it. So let's begin with, you mentioned alternative energy sources and infrastructure that could mitigate the impact of fluctuating fuel prices. How viable are these alternatives for Nigeria's energy future? How viable are they?
Oh, well, I think that, okay, let's the gas, for instance. Nigeria has one of the highest gas storage in the world. And of course, nature has bestowed us with that. So that is quite sustainable in the long term. And we're already seeing automobile companies producing cars that are designed originally to use CNG. So it's sustainable. It's going to take us for a long time. And if you look at the other alternative, like public transport system, every developed city in the world has that. You know, they have a combination of the metro, the big buses, and the small taxis that run from street to street. These are sustainable alternatives. I have not been suggesting that government run them, because we have seen what has happened to all our public enterprises. So it's best to bring the private sector in, and the government can regulate this. The federal government doesn't have to do this across all 36 states. The federal government, through the FCDA, is responsible for Abuja. But each state governor should come up with their own. But the federal government can stimulate this discussion. You know, have an arrangement where you bring the governors in and sell these ideas to him. This 500 billion we are trying to collect and share everywhere could buy some 8,000 buses that with the capacity of 60 passengers at a time. And the government can share this according to the population of each town as their own equity to the transport system for that state.
But
and
then
we can make money from that.
What will these buses be running on? The same PMS?
We can use CNG. We can use electric buses. And I'll tell you why that is possible for the electric buses. We can use CNG for the buses. Even if we use PMS, imagine if 60 people are driving 60 cars to work, as against one bus driving these 60 people to work. Do you think it's going to be the same amount of PMS? It's definitely going to be far less. So the shared cost will make it profitable on that side. We can use CNG. I think I heard Innoson is already producing CNG vehicles. If we use CNG, which is at least 100 naira per kg or so, or for whatever that is equivalent of 1 liter, that is far cheaper. You know, and you can use that. Then secondly, let me go to the issue of using our electricity.
Absolutely.
As of now, the report from the federal government says that we have capacity to generate 10,500 megawatts of electricity. Unfortunately, transmission company can only transmit 7,500 megawatts of it, whereas the distribution company is doing a paltry 2,500 megawatts. Now, there was an arrangement by the federal government under the Buhari administration that certain consumers of electricity that use up to a certain amount should buy directly from the transmission company. That will help optimize the power that we are generating. Now, imagine that these buses can have power supply directly from the transmission company, and at each terminal they have a charge point. So we'll be utilizing the gap that we are not distributing for our electricity for our transport system, and that's going to be quite cheaper for us. So it's also sustainable. As for electricity, apart from opening up the market for private investors to invest, the government can also encourage the use of solar option. We have a lot of sunlight here, especially in the middle belt and the northern states. The government can partner with companies that can produce these things in Nigeria, and then have some kind of loan schemes for civil servants, small businesses, and all of that to buy and pay over a period of time. You know, all of these things are quite sustainable if you sit down and draft it.
Well,
And
I
like
mean,
I've always said, some of us are willing to sit down and do these things even for free for the government, just for our country to grow, just for us to prosper together. So this is not something that the government will need to go and pay billions or millions of dollars to anybody. We are here. We put our head together. We get it running.
when you say we are here, who are you referring to? And how the we that are here, have you made proposals to the government? How far have you gone in letting the administration understand that
Well,
you're ready and willing to do these things pro bono?
this is one far I am going by saying this loud on your own channel, and I have said it on several media, on several issues. I won't begin to advertise other media on your own media, but each time I go on air, I profile solution and I make myself available. And I have a lot of friends who are in this analysis and research and all of that together with me, and they're also willing to do these things pro bono. So it's up to the government. Maybe they don't deem us smart enough, or maybe the right people are not hearing us. But if the right people are hearing us as it is, I can't walk to the Aso Villa and say I want to see Mr. President. I don't going to write to so say, Mr. President, I have idea. If there's anybody out there listening who knows that, okay, I have a link inside, I'm going to suggest this, fine. That person will also be doing Nigeria a favor. So we are saying here, some of us are out here, we are willing to help pro bono. If anybody is out there listening, the person can suggest to the government, okay, why don't you call these guys together? Let's hear what they have to offer.
Okay, now you mentioned the case of the issue of using electric cars in Nigeria here, electricity at least. A lot of people have been calling for a state of emergency, even in the power sector, because there are a lot of things not going right there. How viable are these suggestions? Are we ready? Is Nigeria in a place where they can actually afford that?
Well, like I have explained it clean to you, how electric vehicles for public transport system is already sustainable. Because we are having a deficit. There's a differential between what we transmit and what we distribute. So we have a 5,000 megawatts that we transmit but cannot distribute. We can put that into the transport system.
Just for the sorry sir, sorry for cutting you right there. Just for the layman who doesn't really understand the difference between transmission and distribution, and then the 5,000 megawatts, can you just break that down in more simpler terms?
I hope I can find a way to do that. But you see what you call high tension. I believe everybody knows that one.
Yes,
that
sir.
is the transmission line. It carries the power that is generated from somewhere to far distance. Like if we're generating power in somewhere in Shiroro, there's the equipment that carries it from, say, Niger State to Benue State to Sokoto or Lagos. That is transmission. The one that steps it down from that place and make it available to your home and your offices, that is what we call distribution. Okay?
Yes.
So this infrastructure that carries it across long distance can transmit that 7,500 megawatts. But the one that takes it into our homes is only doing 2,500 megawatts across the country. So there's a deficit, and we can utilize that.
All right, so let's take a quick break right there. I have a few bills to pay, and we're going to be right back in a few minutes. Stay with us.
It's all right.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at BLP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. BLP TV, show up, speak up.
The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream.
Delight in every school.
Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream.
At number 4, Ogbomoso Street,
Area 8, Geriki, Abuja, or 3rd Avenue, Gwaripa, Abuja, or Federal Housing Estate, Phase 2, Lube, Abuja. Call 0908-831-5906 or 0908-831-5908 or 0